Hello there, Capricorn. First and foremost, I'd like to wish you a very happy new year. I hope that you enjoyed your holiday season and that you're ready to begin the new year and see what is in store for you. Let's take a look now at your January 2018 forecast. And I like to start off every forecast with some channeled information. To get that, I meditate on your sign, I select a deck of cards that I'm going to use, and information comes through. For you, it was all about control dynamics. So your channeled information is control and feeling that either you're in control or you're ready to sort of deal with things that are out of control in your life. So if there's something that you wanted to get a better handle on, maybe you decided to change your health or fitness routine, or maybe there's a person in your life that you're tired of having sort of, have them manipulate or control you. This is a month to take your power back. Also, it's a month where you can exert control or influence in a positive way. So basically, I want you to feel like you are the conductor if we were to use the idea of an orchestra. And this is your month to create the music, the energy, and the activities that you would like. All right, now let's take a look and see what the cards have to say. And as I shuffle this deck, let me just go over how this is organized for anybody that's brand new. Every month I start off with a Celtic cross after I've looked at the channeled information, and then I expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I also have an additional card that I call a catalyst, and I'll be pulling that in a moment. But first I want to pause and just take in the cards, the meanings, and the energy as I pull this spread. So bear with me, and then we'll talk a little bit more. And let's go ahead now and look at that catalyst card, and then we'll begin. Okay, so we have this Cobra card, which is probably one of the bolder oracle cards that I have. This is a card of power, of strength, and of not sort of backing down. And it really does sit nicely with the control message that I channeled for you. Now, what you want to be careful of with this, it's a double-edged sword. You don't want to intimidate. And sometimes when I see this, it can look a little intimidating. You can scare people. So what you want to try to do is temper your leadership skills or your outspokenness this month so that you're not overstepping, so that you're not threatening, or so that you're not scaring away potential allies, friends, partners, etc. But you also want to have that sense of, I am the one that's in control, and you want to follow my instructions. So any good leader sort of has that balance between people respecting them and wanting to please them, but not being afraid. You don't want to rule in fear. You want to just be someone that people respect and see that you're strong, you've worked your way up, and they want to be like you. And that's a lot, I guess that's a lot better than ruling with a hand of fear. So the Cobra is there to remind you that the strongest leaders don't have to show it. If that makes sense? Okay. And you are going to have moments to shine this month. That's what I'm seeing. So let's turn the camera down, take a look at all the cards and the positions so you can also tune into the energy. Right at the center, we have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is very much a card of forecasting, and I've seen it in many signs this month. And it's usually reversed in January because this is still a month, although we're through retrograde, it's about looking back on what you've done and looking forward to figure out, do I like where I'm at? And that's really your center card and the thing that's affecting you the most as you come into this. It's crossed for many of you with this sense of indecisiveness or indecision, knowing, I don't know if I should go this way. And the truth of the matter is, no matter how much planning you do or how much information you have, you're never going to be able to anticipate all the risks or all of the collective free will that's going on around you. You make the best decision at that moment based on the information and the intuition that you have at your disposal, and then you move forward. And then each day is a new sort of culmination of all these things. So I'm encouraging not to get stuck too much in trying to over-prepare. I feel like you're already good at preparation. That's something that's intrinsic to your sign. Your money situation is actually pretty strong. When I'm looking at deep past, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence, of self-sufficiency. The card in reverse, however, is speaking to the fact that you want to remember that there are other people around you. So for those of you that are really high in leadership or in power, this is about not forgetting to give people raises, to give them bonuses, to give them accolades, and remind them just with a simple thank you letter or chatting in person, like, you're doing a great job. This is going to go a long way for you. So share the wealth. And if you're in a position where you're feeling overlooked, this is also a chance where you could talk to someone in a position of power and say, I just need some feedback on how I'm treading towards our goals, and we don't get a chance to talk that much, so it helps me to have feedback. I operate better with feedback. Don't be afraid, be strong, and ask for what you need. Don't demand it, just sort of let them know that leadership style works for you. Same thing in relationships. You could just say, it seems like you're focusing a lot on what isn't working. I also work really well with positive reinforcement, so you've got to mix the two for it to work out. You are going to have a big step-up opportunity around the beginning, first or second week of the month. And what you need to do then is, I would say, not be afraid. The star card comes up when either you've been working hard to shine or someone calls on you and says, I need you for this project. Or if you're a student, you're going to get called to the front of the class and asked to participate. Use this opportunity because it could create really positive traction, not just for January, but for the rest of the year. And the only thing that I see with this is when I saw the card, I got the message, don't look back. So for those of you that are thinking, maybe I was going to do this, I should have done this, or whatever, it's like, get out of your head and think, I'm here in the moment, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go for it. So no second thoughts and no second chances sometimes for these sorts of windows of opportunity. It will be a busy month. We have the Four of Swords in reverse. So if you're reading this, or looking at this rather, around the holiday time, like between December 25th and January 1st, enjoy the time off now, because I feel like January is going to be busy. And if you are so busy in January that you're feeling run down, this card is a reminder to take a sick day if you need, or take a vacation day. I don't think there's going to be a lot of time for a vacation in January, but you should take care of yourself and practice good self-care when and if possible. I'm feeling good about your money situation in January. Either you're going to get a handle on the money, make money, there could be new jobs for some of you. If you're not really feeling that, then this can also indicate a strong earth sign that's coming into your life as well, but it still feels tied to money for me. So either way, that looks pretty good. There's some travel that may be either delayed or come up and you're not really wanting it. So maybe if you're working for a company and part of your job is travel, you may get sent on assignment, or you may have very short notice for a trip that you have to take. Others of you may have plans for a vacation or doing something, and it's going to be difficult to make that happen. So make sure that if you do any travel reservations during the month, that there is an exchange or a refund or a credit policy in place so that you can make adjustments. Also, definitely follow up. Make sure you're reading all your emails and confirmations and not missing anything, because this card usually indicates delays. For relationships this month, because this is sitting in your ego position, it's speaking to the fact that it might be a little harder to connect with people around you. The interesting thing, though, is as we look at the end of the month, we have the Three of Cups, which is actually quite favorable for any type of meeting, whether it's a business meeting, a first date, or any sort of conversation. So the month ends on a very strong note, even if towards the beginning or middle you're feeling that you're pulling back a bit. The other thing is, this is a very good month for you to present new ideas, to go out on a limb and to talk about new things, because with the Six of Wands, we're seeing favorable reception for all of the sort of coworker and environmental influences that you have. That's where this card is sitting. Also, what I see for you is a very good month for you to make any sort of announcements or declarations that you want. So maybe if you're thinking of proposing to someone, or setting a date for something, or basically drawing up a contract, January is a very good time for all of these things. Let's go ahead now and expand your forecast. We'll begin, of course, with the health card. And I see health as a culmination of your mind, your body, and your spirit. It's really hard to separate those three things. They feed into one another. Let's see how that relates to what we've just covered today. And so your health card this month is to reduce anything that is toxic, particularly in this case, I would say caffeine, alcohol, and sugar. To me, this is just a general detox card. The reversal of this shows me that for some of you, you might be depending on this just because you're afraid how you might perform without it, or that you're just so used to having something in the morning to give you a kick, again, whether it's sugar or caffeine, that it could somehow take you off of your productivity. For those of you that have already overcome caffeine, then this is just about maintaining that new sort of detoxified outlook in your mind and your body. So keep working on that. See what else you might want to do as far as clarification. Maybe it's a time to go on some sort of a cleanse, etc. Of course, always under the supervision of a doctor, but this is a good time to let go of stuff. Let's now take a look at your wealth card. And the wealth card for me is not just about the money and the money opportunities, but it's also about your emotions surrounding money, because that more than anything is what makes opportunities sort of drawn into your energy. So your wealth card this month is the puzzle, and the puzzle card for me speaks to how clear are you on what you want, and also can you look at your present situation as perhaps not the end all and be all, but this beautiful sort of connective thread or a puzzle piece that's going to get you closer to what you want. So this is basically a building block month. You may not be able to see what you want or get what you want, but the goal is to get a step closer, or to fill in one more piece or one more block on that wall that you're trying to build. So just know that you are making headway, but if there's anything that isn't clear for you, this is where you actually have to step up, take control, because we saw that as your channeled information, and be strong, as we saw with the Cobra card, and ask for what you need or get the clarity that you're seeking. All right, we looked at health, we looked at wealth. Let's take a look at your relationship card for this month. And as far as relationships go, we have caretaker. So this might be a month where, and this is also a very balanced card. It's your turn to give back, or vice versa. If you've been giving a lot to someone else, that's their turn to sort of reciprocate. We all take turns where we need a little more or we give a little bit more. However, the card says caretaker, so I feel like you'll be doing more of the giving. If there's not a lot of people in your family that need help, or if you feel like you're pretty blessed, this can also be a card that encourages you to do service. And you can be a sort of voluntary caregiver for people. So maybe volunteering at a church or a hospital or a youth program where there are people that just really don't have anywhere else to turn, and you have extra energy to give. This sort of thing comes back tenfold, and you do it without expectation of any sort of return. But the way the universe works is when you give, you receive. So feel free to give if you have more time, more energy, more love, because definitely the world needs that. So let's take a look now at your destiny card. Destiny for me is a GPS. And if you like the direction in which you're headed, stick with it. If you don't, this is your chance to course correct. Your destiny card this month is the Sun. The Sun is a card that I closely relate not just with the season of summer, but also with children and babies. So I mentioned youth programs. If there's anything in your community that you want to do to benefit young children in your life, that would be great, or young children in your community. If there is, if you have a child or a niece or a nephew or someone young in your life that you want to give extra time to or help out, this is a good month for that. This is also about nurturing your inner child. So if you're feeling sort of burned out, or that nobody loves you or no one's taking care of you, put some TLC on yourself. Go out and get a massage, take a day off, treat yourself to a meal out, do something kind and give back to you. Because sometimes we have to be our own universal mother or father so that our internal child is basically feeling loved and appreciated. Finally, this is showing that as far as prosperity goes, because we did see this Knight of Pentacles here, I think that the summer months for you, and I'm looking at summer months from the Northern Hemisphere point of view, so June, July, and August, that's where really some magic is going to happen in your fiscal area. So between now and then, you want to be smart about saving, about creating sort of like a sandbox that you can use in the future. And maybe if you need to make some investments or try different things, the summertime looks like it's going to be a very fertile time for you. All right, now let's take a look at everything we talked about, bring it into a review, and then we'll wrap everything up. Your channeled information this month was to really get comfortable with what you're in charge of in your life. So if you haven't spent a lot of time looking at your financial situation, your work situation, your relationship dynamics, this is a chance for you to try to find balance And when you feel like you want to, you can step up to the plate and take control over situations. It is a month where power dynamics are going to play out across the board. Your Catalyst card was showing this sort of subtle reminder, though, to try not to rule with this iron fist. The best leaders don't have to prove that they're the best leaders. People respect them because they work hard, because they embody all of the skills and all of the attributes that they want in themselves, and they're nurturing. So you have that sense of strength, of someone that people respect, but you don't have to be pushy and you don't have to overcompensate, basically. As we look at the positions and the meanings of all the cards this month, the center is basically saying there might be a little bit more thinking, dreaming that you want to do at the beginning of the month, because we are in January, and that's the time when we naturally sort of reflect on the past and the future. Don't get stuck in your head too long, though. You've done some great work as far as either getting a good relationship with money or bringing some wealth into your accounts and into your life, so keep up with that. You're going to have a chance to step up to the plate as far as someone asking you to either speak up or demonstrate something, or again, they want to tap you for information and insight. Take advantage of that. That's going to be good. Some of you might also just want to express yourself more creatively. The Star card is the quintessential card that I would attach to actors, artists, performers. And so this is saying if you've been in a very sort of traditional path, that you might want to break out and fork into a new area where you're just following your creative energy. It's a busy month. Take care of yourself. Take a vacation when and if you can. But I think now, if you're reading this, or if you're looking at this rather in December, this is the time to do it, because in January it's going to be a little tricky. So take a sick day if you have to, or take a long weekend, but it could be harder to do something different than that. Your money situation should continue to grow or improve if you're not happy with where you're at. Around the middle of the month, there's another work opportunity or maybe some unexpected money that comes in. There could also be a very strong earth sign. Either way, it's positive and it feels like it's attached to work or money. It's a little harder probably for personal relationships in this month, because we have the Six of Swords, at least until the middle of the month. Then things start to pick up. And great time for you to step forward and share things with others. Great time for contracts, and at the end of the month, a great time for meetings. So know that whether you're meeting someone for the first time for business or to create a relationship, hopefully, then things could go into a really great place. And even if you're in an existing relationship or partnership, the Three of Cups bodes well for that. As we expand the forecast, continue to work on detoxifying your life. If you've already given up caffeine, alcohol, sugar, or other substances, great. If not, the beginning of the month is a good time to do so. You may need some help, though, as we look at this card with the horse in reverse, showing that there's ups and there's downs, so it could be a good time to join a support group or a program for that. Knowing that you may not get everything that you want as far as your career, school, or money goes this month. This is one piece in a larger puzzle, and you have to figure out if you're happy with the trajectory. If you are, just see this as a building block and don't get frustrated by the lack of progress. Balance is the key when it comes to your relationships, but I get the inkling here that you're going to be doing more giving than receiving. And finally, if you have children in your life, spend time with them. If you're feeling that you yourself are a little bit under the weather or not being appreciated, then take care of your own inner child. This month is about spending time with the youth in your life, or kind of evoking or embracing that feeling of being a kid. So that's having fun, that's being nurtured, and that's being loved. To that end, I hope you received all of that as you watched this reading, that you're prepared for the month ahead. And I'd just like to remind you, if you ever want to talk at length about what's going on in 2018, or if you have a particular question that you'd like to reach out and get some guidance, I do offer one-on-one appointments. So I'll put a link in the description area below, and you can take a look at all of the rates and availability. I do offer some now different time lengths and appointment types, so you might want to take a look if you haven't in a while. If you found that this was helpful and you'd like to give back, you're more than welcome to do so. I have two ways to do that. One is through Patreon, and the other is to just do a donation through my website. And if you'd like to stay connected, the easiest way to do that is to subscribe to this channel or to join me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I also have a newsletter. So for all of this information, you can just go to the description area and see more, and you'll be able to follow up on all of that. I like to end everything with a big thank you, a heartfelt thank you, not just for the likes and subscribes, but more importantly for the work that you're doing on yourselves. I really want you to continue that self-development, whether it's just sort of your awakening of intuition, spiritual awakening, or just working on yourself. Whatever it is, keep doing it, because we need more people that are trying to make this place a better place by understanding what makes them work, what makes them tick. So I want more light workers, more teachers, and more cosmically aware humans on this planet. So if I've helped you in any of those areas, then I really feel grateful. And I just want to say thank you and have a really happy new year. Take care. Bye-bye.